1996. You had the opportunity for one leg of the torch run into the stadium. That takes a while to eventually get it there, and it culminated with Muhammad Ali lighting the torch in Atlanta. There you go, the greatest of all time. How did that come about? Because in my mind, and I think in the mind of several fans of the Olympics, that is the ultimate honor. You are tabbed as one of the legends of your sport, one of the legends of U.S. Olympic competition. How did that come about?
Well, I'm a leader as a coach, so I was a good competitor, but I was also a leader as a coach, good role model. And when USA Wrestling was asked to select some wrestlers to participate in the Olympic torch relay, and I got tabbed as one of those choices, so it was a great honor. The city I was in, Columbus, home of Ohio State, I spent 3 years coaching there, and I really enjoyed that career there, and went great. And the torch was coming through Columbus, so I got to carry the Olympic flame, pass the flame along to the next guy, and head down to Atlanta, where Muhammad Ali lit it. Ironically, I grew up in elementary school. I followed boxing. Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, some other great fighters, and I'd shadow boxes before I knew anything about wrestling. And then when I discovered wrestling in 5th grade, I started shadow wrestling a lot. So it was pretty cool to be part of the torch relay with Muhammad Ali closing the deal. It was neat.
Who's your favorite athlete of all time that you looked up to as a kid? Was it Ali?
Wow, I wouldn't say it was Ali. I liked Johnny Bench. He was a real clean living. I grew up in West Virginia near Cincinnati, Ohio. He was one of my favorites. I didn't know much about wrestling growing up, watching wrestling. In the Olympics, when I got old enough to appreciate Dave Schultz, he was definitely my wrestling hero, but I didn't really meet him till I was 16. But growing up, I followed baseball. I played ball till I was 14, and Bench was a catcher. I read his biography. I read a lot of biographies as a young man, and one of the biographies I read was about Johnny Bench, and talked about him standing up in front of his 3rd grade class, and Pete, what do you want to do when you grow up? And he said, Major League Baseball player. And the kids laughed. He's a fat, pudgy guy, and obviously he grew up to be one of the greatest catchers of all time, and I was a catcher, so that's who I liked as an elementary school athlete. I read a biography of Larry Bird, another great athlete I looked up to. I mean, country boy, just kept plugging, told stories about the extra time he put in to become great. And so in a short answer, Bench, Larry Bird, Dave Schultz.
There are great athletes littered throughout the process of handing off. Who did you take the torch from, and who did you hand it off to?
I got to pass on that question. I don't know. You only do it for a mile, and it's quick, and it's the flame you're passing.
Yeah.
So you keep your torch. The torch is actually in my home office in Pennsylvania. We're in the process of moving the trucks down here. I'm already living here in an apartment, but the house has got to sell first. So that torch will be in my office. But it was the flame that you passed, and I don't know who I passed it to. I don't recall.
What's the? Is that one of the big mementos that you hold on to after all these years that maybe you look back at and say, "Wow, I have the Olympic torch sitting in my house"?
It is. I live for the future. My goal is to make Queens wrestling awesome. But my parents and my wife have framed a few things, including my Olympic jacket and the Olympic torch. So they do have a home in my office along with my diploma, my wife's diploma, or centered in my office there together, and then also a picture of Rec Hall. It's a really great experience wrestling at Penn State. The excitement, you alluded to it earlier, I mean, full house. I went from West Virginia with 100 people, 200 people, fans watching, to, packed gyms at Rec Hall, something special. So there's a picture of Rec Hall in my office as well.